What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Landscape Marketing Mastery, episode number 6. Today, we're going to be covering back-end automations for your landscaping business, which will boost the overall professionalism of your brand. So, back-end automations, we are in part 6 today, and we're going to be covering how you can save you and your team precious time by automating every possible task. So, you may be asking, why automate? What is backend automations? What does that mean? So backend automations is the process of using a software to automate repetitive tasks within your business operations. So that could be something like sending out automated invoices. It could be something like requesting reviews from past clients, stuff like that. So automation saves you time, reduces errors, and allows you to focus on more growth-oriented tasks because of that time that you save by automating everything. So like I said, some examples are automated invoicing, customer follow-up, scheduling, appointment setting, bunch of stuff like this. It's going to vary based on your business. All types of businesses have back-end automation set up. But in landscaping, we're going to be going over what you can do today to make your business more efficient and overall save you that precious time. So step one to automating tasks within your business is actually identifying the tasks that you can automate. Not everything is able to be automated. If you have personal conversations with your clients that are necessary to making the sale, you don't want to necessarily automate that. An AI or a computer is not going to do as good of a job with selling your product as an estimator would. They know it a lot better. They know how to make the proper bids on every single job. And so there are some tasks that you don't want to automate. So like I said here, if you have a personal touch at any point in your business, any point in the sales process, you don't want to eliminate that. You want to keep that as part of your business because it's something valuable and it's somewhere where your time is worth putting there. However, for stuff like sending out confirmation emails or, hey, we scheduled your visit, it's important that you can automate these tasks because these are things that are going to have some human error, are going to take time unnecessarily. And if you can automate it, you really should. So landscaping, common automated tasks are invoicing. Once a job is completed, if it's on a regular biweekly or weekly schedule, flat price every time, you can automate it so that that invoice sends by itself without you having to do anything. And this makes it so that you don't have to worry about it. You can spend less time in the actual invoicing, which is boring and tedious, and you can just focus on the right parts of your business. So once you've chosen the tasks that you can automate, and that's going to be specific to your business, you want to choose the right software to do that. Now, if you have a CRM software, which is a customer relationship management software, you should look into if it offers automations. If it does, then you're fine. You have everything you need. Some softwares aren't as customizable in their automations as all of them. So do your research on what software you need if you need one. If you already have one, then we're going to dive in today on how you can use that software to boost the efficiency of your business as a whole. So when you're doing your research on the CRM that you're looking at, you want to choose something that is the right fit for you, and you want to choose something that allows room for growth. If you're looking at marketing your business, you want to grow. So make sure that you choose a software that can handle an influx of clients. You're using a software that is made to handle lots more clients than you currently have, because that's the goal, right? You want to get more business in the door. Make sure you get a software that can handle that. Now, one thing that I really like to recommend for businesses is that they only use one software. Now, I understand that there are lots of third-party apps and stuff that you can integrate with, like Zapier, which is an integration platform. But the more simple that you can keep it in your business structure, the better it's going to be. It's going to be a lot less confusing. You're going to have a lot less software to software contact, and you're going to be able to just put everything in one place and keep it as simple and not confusing as possible, because automations can get confusing. And one thing to really make sure of is that you don't set up too many automations that are overlapping and doing similar things but differently. You want to make sure that it's a smooth process all the way through, especially for the customer. So make sure that you're only using one, max two softwares for your automation. Your CRM should be able to do this for you. If it can't, look into one that can. But like I said, just try to keep it as simple as possible. Try to keep it in one spot. You'll thank yourself later. All right, so step 3, once you know which tasks you want to automate, you need to map out what that's going to look like. So you have to look at mapping out these automations as, okay, event number 1 happens. What does that trigger? What comes next in the sequence of automations. If this happens one way, what happens? If it happens a different way, does it happen differently? Now, all softwares are different in how you set up your actual automations. So you're going to need to learn the UI, which is the user interface of your specific software. But I'm going to show you today how I do it in the software that I use. Now, this is likely going to be different for you, but conceptually it remains the same. It's, if you're familiar with any programming at all, it's essentially a lot of if-then statements, which really just means if X happens, Y happens, or if X doesn't happen, Z happens. So this is really just sort of the overall, it's universal how automations work. It's a lot of if-then statements, but you're going to have to get used to your specific software when figuring out how to set up your backend automations. I'll show you today, though, how I do it in mine. So jumping over to an automation sequence that I use, this is my newsletter confirmation and my ebook delivery. So I have an ebook that I use as a lead magnet to get people on my email list. And the ebook is around the basics of home service business advertising. So it gets people in the door. It's free. They put in their email in a form, and I have it set up here so that when a form is submitted, this is the start trigger for the automation. When the form is submitted and the form is my newsletter sign up form, this automation starts. Now, the first thing that happens in this automation is the contact gets a tag. Now, the tag on their account, which I talked about in the last video on email and text marketing, the tag says to me, this person is a part of your newsletter email list. I added the newsletter tag. It says this person signed up for the newsletter. They should be receiving newsletter communications whenever you send them out. So now I know which category this customer is in. I didn't have to do it manually. If someone fills out this form, they're automatically assigned to the newsletter category. At the same time that happens, because I didn't add a wait time, what you can do is I could say, all right, add a tag, then wait an hour, and then send this internal notification. But I don't need to do that in this case. So what I do is I add the tag, and then I have an internal notification, which is just for my personal, I like to see when new leads come in. I get an email that says new newsletter sign up. It has their name and it has their email. So that's all that comes to me with this internal notification. An internal notification is saying, okay, we're going to notify someone within the business, that's why it's internal, of what just happened. Someone joined the newsletter. So I would get an email saying someone joined the newsletter. Now, for a landscaping business, if you have a quote request form on your website, when someone fills out that form, you can get an email or a text message that says new quote request. Here's their name, here's their email, here's their phone number, here is their address, here is the service that they requested, here's what they said about it. And so you can set up your forms so that they trigger that automation to A, let you know as soon as someone requests a quote, but also B, you can set up a confirmation email or a confirmation text to the prospect that filled out the form that says, hey, we received your quote request. Thanks so much for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly to help fulfill your request. Immediately, as soon as they hit submit form, submit request, they get a text or an email that says, hey, we received your request. We'll be reaching out shortly. Think about that experience from a customer's perspective. A lot of times you'll submit a form, you're asking for something, nothing happens. You don't get any confirmation. You just hit submit and off your form submission goes into the void of the internet. What happened to it? But when you get that confirmation, hey, we received your request and we'll be getting in touch with you shortly, they immediately trust you more, immediately off the bat. Why wouldn't they? You're telling them, hey, I received your request. It's pretty obvious that it's a computer system that's following up with that. But if you're the type of business that has that automation system set up, it's pretty clear that you know what you're doing, you're serious about your business, and they're going to trust you more because of that. So just going down the line, in this specific automation, once I get the email that says someone filled out the newsletter sign-up form, that person also gets the email. Your ebook has arrived. So when someone fills out that form, they sign up for the newsletter, they get that free ebook to their email. So what this says is, hey, thanks for signing up. Here's your free ebook. And it happens instantly. I don't have to go in once I get that internal notification that says, hey, someone filled out a lead form. send them this email with the free ebook. No, it just happens automatically. So I created that ebook, I set it up in this email, and whenever someone signs up, they get that ebook for free, and I never have to worry about it. It just goes straight to their inbox. So think about the amount of time that that's saving from me having to do everything manually. I mean, I might not even know that someone filled out the newsletter form. I might just have to go in and check the next day or whenever I get around to it. But if I get an email or a text that says, hey, this person filled this out, I know immediately. And think about the value in that from a landscaping perspective. If you have someone fill out a form, they're probably not expecting to hear back from you for a few days. That's kind of industry standard. A lot of contractors will, they'll see that a lead came through, but then it's on their time to get back to you. And who knows how long it takes for them to actually see the request. But if you get their phone number right away in a text to you, you can just click on their phone number, call them. You can be calling these leads 30 seconds after they come in. They hit submit, you immediately get a text with their phone number. 30 seconds later, you're on the phone with them. Hey, thanks for submitting your quote request. How can we help you? Yeah, I saw that you were interested in our trimming service. Oh, okay, you've got 3 trees? Gotcha. We'll send our estimator out right away to get you a quote. Think about the efficiency. Just think about it. So that's how automations work for me personally in my business, but we're going to jump in back to the presentation and talk about how you can use automations in your landscaping business. So once you've implemented your automations, you want to make sure that everything is working properly. It is kind of programming in a sense. You're saying if this happens, X happens, and there are a lot of different factors that play in here. So you want to make sure that you are testing your automations before they go live. But secondly, you also want to make sure that you're constantly monitoring them, making sure that nothing is happening because of an automation that shouldn't be, and figuring out what is triggering that event. So just consistently pay attention to what your automations are doing. Make sure that your team is aware and understands the triggers for the automation so that they don't accidentally do something that, for example, sends out an email or a text message or an internal notification that isn't accurate. You want to make sure that everyone's aware of what the automations do and what triggers them in your team so that you don't have any mishaps or miscommunications there as well. Okay, so once you've actually implemented your automations and they're running smoothly, step 4 is to evaluate the impact. Now, this isn't a part of actually setting up your automations. It's really just seeing how efficient you have become because you've automated these tasks. So really the goal of automations is to make you and your business more productive and more professional. So track how much time you've saved. If there's an entire invoicing department in your company and you've decided to automate invoicing, how much time did you save? What are those people in that department doing now that is more effective and more strategically advantageous for your business? They're not doing the simple tasks of sending invoicing anymore. You can put them on more advanced stuff if they can handle it. Or you can cut them and cut that cost because now it's automated. So just make sure that you understand what benefits or negatives automations have had on your business. You want to make sure that you're actually paying attention to what has happened because you've implemented these automations. And then you want to make changes or keep things the same based on the results that you find. One thing that I like to recommend is monthly or quarterly checkups on your automations. So this just makes sure that everything is still working properly and isn't causing any accidental communications to be sent. You want to be careful with your automations that you're not overloading them, not setting up things where, 2 redundant emails might get sent out because of one trigger that's the same. There's just a lot of nuance that you have to be familiar with to make sure that everything's working properly, especially once you get over like 10 automations. If you have 10 different sequences running, it's possible that there's some overlap. Just be mindful. And then again, like any marketing method, you want to continuously optimize and make sure that you are up to date with the industry trends. So if you have new tools that are coming out, if there is a new trend in lawn care in your area, you want to make sure that you're on top of it. So I talked about sending out newsletters and the email marketing. This is something that you can automate. If there's a big event that happens in your area, something that needs to change within your marketing, maybe maybe there was a natural disaster in your area, and you wanna empathize with your audience. This is an area where you would go in and you would make sure that the newsletter that's scheduled for a month from now, you can go in and change that because you have that forethought. Okay, email X is going out in a month. It's automated. It's just going to send, but I want it to say something different. So just make sure that you're paying attention and being mindful again of what your automations are doing and when. And if you ever want to change that, make sure that you're going in and doing so and not just letting your automations run. The point of automations is for them to just run on their own. It does require some adult supervision. So just make sure that you're there to supervise what it's doing and not just sort of letting it do its thing all the time. Really, you just need to do a monthly checkup. That's sort of what it comes down to. Do a quarterly checkup, really, if they're very simple. There shouldn't be many changes here once you have it set up initially, but if you have an extra idea, something that could make yourself more efficient, just make sure you're implementing that. It's not a huge deal. Again, just make sure things are running properly. So the summary of backend automations, it's really a complex concept made simple. First, you want to identify the tasks that are going to save you time by automating them. Then you want to choose the right software to do so, or decide if you already have one, in which case you're set, you're ready to go, just get going. Number 3, you want to map your automations. You want to actually sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and write, okay, when someone fills out a quote request form, I want to get a text message and I want them to get an email. I want there to be an internal notification and an external confirmation email to the prospect. Great. Once you have it mapped out, actually go into your software and implement these automations. So that just looks like taking that piece of paper and putting it in the software. You're going to have to learn how to do that, but it really doesn't take much time. It should just take a few YouTube videos, if anything, depending on the software that you're using. Once you implement your automations, you just sort of want to evaluate what's going on in your business. Has it been helpful? Has it caused any new problems? Did you set something up wrong? Is everything running smoothly? Just make sure that everything's working properly. And then just continue to improve them. If there's something that could make them run faster, if there's something that could, help with your promotions or help with a different aspect of your digital marketing, like asking for reviews, you can automate that. Just make sure that you're always looking for ways to improve. There's always ways to make your business better, always ways to get more clients within the door. And just make sure that you are keeping an eye on it. Really, that's all it comes down to. Backend automations are a huge, huge part for any business that's looking to be more professional and looking to take better care of their clients and staff. So that's all I got for today. In the next class, we're going to be covering every door direct mail for landscapers. So this is a cost-effective method to get your name in front of your entire community if you'd like. This is a specified way to target flyers. So you're actually doing physical marketing. And you can target these audiences by their age, by their income level, and by their location. So if you're only targeting, high ticket luxury properties, then you can send these flyers specifically to those people based off their income level. So super cool tool. We're going to be going over it in the next episode. If you found this interesting, if you found it educational, please leave a like, share, drop a comment down below, and leave a subscription. Makes it super helpful for me, makes it possible for me to keep doing these educational videos for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.